Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Wendy's Kooky Crochet Tutorial. In this video, we're going to make this fun beachy dress that you saw the picture of at first. And what you're going to need to make this is, it's really versatile as far as yarn and hook size and all of that. So choose the yarn that you love, choose a hook size that fits the yarn. So like I'm using this Keratin 1 pound and I'm using a 5mm hook. I don't even know what kind. Yep, they recommend a 5mm hook, so there you are. So this is a medium 4 weight, and then I'm also using the Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and it recommends a 5.5mm hook. I'm not going up in hook size. I'm still using my 5mm hook. You're going to need stitch markers. You're going to need a measuring tape of some sort, and let me dig out my measuring tape here. So you're going to need a measuring tape of some sort. You're going to need scissors. I'm also using this ribbon yarn. So I don't know if you saw this ribbon yarn years ago. It's really fun yarn to work with, and I put it down for a long time, but I've had a lot of people gift me it because I guess they just don't know what to do with it. So this is some fun project that you can make with the ribbon yarn that's going to be beautiful. And again, to me, this one is very beachy, but you can make it not beachy. You can make it flowery. You can make it kind of however you want. You're going to need like you're not going to drop stuff like I just did. You're going to need a few stitch markers, a yarn needle to work in your ends. So yeah. So we're going to start with the top. So I've got one section made of kind of the bralette here. I'm going to put everything else to the side. So you're going to need some measurements to start with. So the first measurement you're going to need is you're going to need completely around your bra area. So underneath your chest, go all the way around your body underneath your chest. And you're going to take that measurement. So that measurement for me, let me look and see what it was, because I did write that down here. So you're going to need that measurement. So that measurement for me was about 16 inches, and so you're going to subtract 2 to 3 inches. So that would be about 23, 24 inches for me, the band that goes all the way around like the bottom of your chest area. And then you're also going to need another measurement. You're going to need several actually. You're going to need the measurement from the bottom of your breast to the middle of your nipple. And that's how long you're going to make this chain right here. That's why it's so versatile. So you measure the bottom of your breast to the middle of your nipple, and that's how you're going to need this chain to be. So for me, that was a total of 14 stitches. And then you're going to need to add 2 stitches on to that, because that is your turning point. So I will show you what I mean here. So you're just going to start with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain. I'm going to chain 14 plus 2, so a total of 16. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I can't work like from the side, strangely enough. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Anyway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, and that measurement for me was about 3.5 inches, just by the way. And I'm going to chain 2 more, so there's 1, 2 more for a total of 16. Now I'm going to do double crochet. So I'm going to skip this stitch, the first stitch right here, and I'm going to skip the second stitch. I'm going to be working in this 3rd stitch from my hook. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to skip 1, 2, working that 3rd stitch from my hook. I'm going to double crochet all the way up until I get to the last stitch. So just 1 double crochet in each chain all the way up till I get to my last stitch. And you're going to make 2 of these, just by the way. Alright, so now I have 1 stitch left. So this final stitch, I'm going to work 5 double crochets into that stitch. So there's 1, oops, 2, let me make sure that was the right stitch there. It was, okay. I somehow pulled that one through. That's kind of weird. Didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. So this is number 3, and this 3rd stitch is kind of the middle stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to mark that 3rd stitch, because that's going to be the stitch we increase in every single round. So that's 3, so 2 more, 4, and 1 more, 5. All right, now we're going to work down the other side of your chain. So again, you're going to go into these chains right here and work 1 double crochet in each of those chains all the way down. And for me, this will be 13. Alright, now I'm going to chain 2 and turn. 1, 2, turn. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way down until I get to where I marked the stitch at. So in that cluster of 5 at the top, it's that 3rd stitch. And I'm going to do, again, 5 double crochets in that stitch. And that chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so just kind of ignore the fact that it's there. You're not going to be working into it. If you don't do that, it kind of leaves a hole, and I don't like the hole that it leaves, so that's why I like doing it this way, just FYI. Again, I'm working 5 double crochets into that 3rd stitch, and I'm going to mark the 3rd double crochet again, because that's each round, that's where my stitch is going, or my increase is going to go. So there's 3. And guys, if you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really means the world to me. I like literally jump up and down and celebrate every time I get a new subscriber. So please subscribe to my channel, guys. It's 4 and 5, and then again just continue to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way down. And guys, I don't know if you like videos slowed down or sped up, or or whatever. I don't want to like bore you to death over here with me just like watching me crochet, but if you have like a preference, let me know. I've had some videos that I've remade because people have said that I've sped it up too much. So like the Boogeyman beanie that I have a slow version and a fast version of that. Again, because a lot of people were like, oh, I can't understand it because it's sped up. So I wanted to make something that everybody could understand, but then also people that are experienced and have been crocheting more, I wanted to make something that also is not going to just like bore them to death. So I'm going to chain 2 now and turn, and I'm going to keep on continuing doing the same thing. So I'm going to double crochet all the way up to my stitch marker. I'm going to do 5 double crochets in this third double crochet in the cluster of 5, and then I'm going to mark that third double crochet, and I'm going to continue and do double crochets all the way down. So you're going to continue to do this until this gets the coverage that you want. So for me, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds like this. So, and that is, again, let's measure this. That is about 6.5 inches was the coverage that I wanted. But yours may be different. So, you know, hold it up to yourself. See what you think. This is, I wear, about a 34B in bra size. So I think that covers me efficiently. So now again, I'm just keeping on doing pretty much what we did in row 2 there until you get to the size that you want. And I've made this a few times, and it's such a beautiful project to make. It's just a fun project to work on. It's great if you have some yarn that you need to use up. Again, this one is a beachy vibe to me, which I just really love it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I've made one that was like all purple, so like a really dark purple and a light purple, and then the skirt part with the ribbon yarn was had just all different kinds of shades of purple in it, so it turned out really pretty. Also, I've made this color before, and quite honestly, I made this color and I didn't realize how much I loved it, and so I decided to make it again, but a size that would fit me. I'm doing a tattoo expo, and I'm trying to make some stuff that I think people would like that could really show off some of their awesome tattoos. And this would be great, like, not only beachy, but also like rave clothes too. I could totally see rave clothes with this also. Because it has just enough coverage, but like not anything like crazy either. So it would be really cool pattern for rave clothes also. Alright, so our next step here, let me actually adjust maybe the camera angle a little bit. So we're going to measure. Maybe better if I didn't have the, let me just take this out real quick, actually. So how we're going to measure is we're going to measure from, okay, this end to this end. So this is about 13.5 inches. So I needed about, I said 23 to 24 inches. So I'm going to say I'm going to need 23 inches. Yarn does stretch some. So I'm going to say I'm going to need 23 inches. So I need 10 more inches basically. Maybe 9.5, right? So I'm going to need about 4 inches on this side, 4 1/4, I guess, 4.5 inches on this side, and 4.5 inches on this side. So I take whatever this number is, so 13, subtract it by what I said my circumference was around my body underneath my breast area. So that is going to be, and then I'm going to subtract 2 to 3 inches from that. So 3 inches from that for me, my measurement was 26, so 3 inches for me would be 23 inches. And so I've got 13 already, so basically I need about, or 13 plus a little, so basically I need about 5 inches on each side, roughly. So that number, whatever it is, so for me, I hope I'm explaining this to you guys where you can understand it. Maybe I should do like a math problem here. I've got, let's see here. This is where I write all of my stuff down and how I do everything. It's a big jumbled mess, and then I draw pictures of how I want things to. So videos that are publishing, I have pictures that I draw of what I want to do, what things should look like. Lots of this stuff I have not made yet. It's just concepts in my head. But I measure, my measurement is 26 inches. And then I have minus 13 inches. That's going to equal 10 inches. And then I need to divide that by 2, and that equals 5 inches. So to get a total of 26 inches, or I mean, sorry, 23. Gosh, I'm not explaining this well. So I have, my measurement was 26 inches. I'm going to subtract 3 inches from that, and that's going to equal 23 inches. Sorry. So 23 inches minus 13 is going to be 10 inches on each, total of 10 inches more, I should say. And then divide that by 2, and that's 5 inches on each side of the bralette. Hopefully that'll make sense. Hopefully. Alright. I'm going to keep my handy measuring tape out here. I'm going to put it at about a little over 5 inches. Insert my hook again. I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to turn my bralette upside down, right like this. And I'm going to do 2 single crochets in each of the double crochet rows. So if you follow like the double crochet row down, this is the double crochet. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets, and you can go around the post if you want. I don't like doing that because it makes a gap. So I'm just going to go into these stitches here. So there's 1, 2. Then I'm going to go to the next. And this one, sometimes it can be hard to see, but that's okay. 3. I need to do 1 more there. Going in that same stitch. 4. Then another. Here's my other row. So if you follow this line down, these are your rows. So this is, I'm just going to grab one here. Maybe. There we are. So 5, 6, the next row, 7, 8, next row, 9, 10, next. See, I worked around the post there. 11, 12. And it's not wrong to work around the post if you want to do that. So then this is like where I turned at. I'm actually going to cut this off here. That way it's not bugging me, because since it's already primarily worked in. Okay, so now this is the other side. Again, same thing though. 2 single crochets in each one. So I was at 12, 13. And it's not really that important that you count, by the way. 14. 15, 16, 17. I was going the same one. It's okay if you go the same one. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now I'm going to do one more here. So I'm going to pull up insert my hook, pull up a loop. Then I'm going to go over here to this one. And I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to try to get that out of the way a bit. But I do like to work over it. Insert my hook, pull up a loop. And try not to have like a ton of room there. So I try to make it as close as I can that way, because I don't want like a ton of room in the middle there. Alright, so there I did like a single crochet tog, so single crochet together. So let me show you how I did that again. So I inserted my hook into this stitch, the first bralette, pulled up a loop. Now I'm inserting my hook into the second bralette, and I'm pulling up a loop. And then I'm pulling it pretty tight here, and I'm yarning over and pulling through all 3. So now I need one more single crochet in this stitch, and then I'm going to repeat that what I just did all the way down on the other side. So 2 single crochets in each of the ends of the double crochets all the way down. Now we're going to chain, and I'm going to chain to about 4.5 to 5 inches, which was what I needed before to go around me. So, and I'm going to count because that's what I'm going to do on the other side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, this is stretchy too, so most yarn like this is. So that's 12. Let's see how far I've got now. 12, I've got about 3.5 inches, so I've got about an inch more to go. 13, 14, 15. Let's see where 15 gets me now. So 15 gets me right at the 4-inch, maybe one more. So 16. Let's see here. I think 16 is going to be the magic number for me here. Yeah, we're going to do 16 because I can always make the back strap longer. So 16. Now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in each of these chains, and then 1 half double crochet across here. And then we're going to change it up a bit. So just 1 half double crochet in each of these chains all the way down. That'll be 15. Starting the second chain from the hook. Alright, now I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in each of these single crochets all the way down. And that was a total of 15 half double crochets. I chained 16 and I made a total of 15 half double crochets just in that chain. Just letting you know, because that's going to be important for the other side, because we're going to do the same thing, making half double crochets, but we're going to do a chainless half double crochet this time. You know, I could turn this over. Okay, now we're going to do a chainless half double crochet. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over, and I'm going to insert my hook in the leg of this last half double crochet. I'm going to start my hook, I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop. I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And that's my first chainless half double crochet. So the next time I do it, I'm going to work in this loop right here. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook into this kind of back-ish loop, the one that we did the pull through just 1. So I'm going to insert my hook there, yarn over, pull up a loop, I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1, and that'll be the one that we start our hook into next time. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and we're going to keep going like that. So insert your hook into the one that you pulled through 1 time. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is falling off. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 1 more. 15. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tie this color off. You will have some ends to work in here, just FYI. But, you know, that's normal, right? All right, so now you're going to decide which side you want to be your front side and which side you want to be the back side. So do I like this side as my front, or do I like this side as my front? So I've got like some stragglers here of where I work things in. So I think I'm going to go with this side as my front side. So since I'm right-handed and I hold my yarn this way, I'm going to move this yarn out of the way and I'm going to change colors now. I'm going to attach, for me, it's the buff colored of this Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo. And I just got it at like Walmart, I believe. So I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop. So this is the front loop right here, and this is the back loop right here. So I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop, and I'm going to just chain. I always do this to make it stay. So inserting my hook, I'm chaining 3. So I've already chained 1, so there's 2, 3. You're going to insert your hook into that second chain from your hook to do the star stitch, and you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and you're going to insert your hook into that third chain from your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you're going to go back into the original one that you worked into, so yarn over, pull up a loop, and then you're going to go into the next back loop again of this chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then the next back loop in that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook. Bam, brain not working tonight. It's late though. You're going to yarn over, you're going to pull through all 6, and then you're going to chain 1. So for the next one and all the others now, you're going to insert your hook into this eye right here. So this little like kind of hole here that your chain 1 made, you're going to insert your hook into that eye, yarn over, pull up a loop, and now you're going to insert your hook into this leg right here. So this last leg here, right there, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to insert your hook into the back loop that you've already worked into from your previous row, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then you're going to insert your hook into that next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1. So you see how it's making kind of like this, yeah, like a kind of like a star. It kind of looks like a flower to me also, but I think since this is my beachy look here, I'm calling this my beachy dress. So since I'm doing that, I think I'm going to call it the starfish just for this, but really it's a star stitch. So again, I'm going to insert my hook into that eye, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert my hook into that last leg, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert my hook into the stitch we already worked into from the previous row, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I'm going to yarn over, pull through all, chain 1. Then I'm going to do that all the way down, and you should have multiples of, I think it's actually multiples of 5. I don't even count that. I just fudge it at the end because at the end of the day, to me, there's really no hard and fast rules here. It's fine. Don't stress out about it. Like, seriously. Oh my gosh, I'm 1 stitch off. It's absolutely perfectly fine. Just, you know, make things to what you're happy with, and you don't have to listen to everybody else. Basically, is kind of what I'm saying here. I love this like kind of teal color. What is this? It's called aqua. This color is called aqua. I don't know if I said that before. With the buff. I think it's a beautiful combination. Again, it looks so beachy to me. I have this and also a white, the ribbon yarn, and like a really sparkly white. I'm not sure if I want to make a dress that's kind of like this, and maybe, I don't know. I don't know. That's the hard part. It's hard to know what to do with it sometimes. Oops, I skipped one, didn't I? I missed this one right here. So I'm going to have one left over. That's okay. So I'm just going to keep on doing like I did before. It's alright. I'm just going to end this one just a little bit short. See? Again, that's okay. Now I could have just done a double crochet here and here to start out with if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. Alright, so now we're going to turn, and I'm just going to chain one again, and I'm going to do one half double crochet in this first one, since it was kind of like a half eye. So working in that eye here, I didn't really show you very good what I was doing. So working into this eye right here, I'm going to do one half double crochet in that first eye, just because it wasn't a complete round row there. Right, next I'm going to go over to the second eye. So this is the back side, this is the front side. That's why I said choose which side you want to be the back or front, because it makes a difference. This stitch is one-sided. So now you're going to just do 2 half double crochets in the eyes. So just 2 half double crochets in each of those eyes. So skip everything else, go to this next eye right here and do 2 half double crochets. Skip everything else, go to that next eye, do 2 half double crochets, and keep on doing that all the way down. Each of the little eyes now should have 2 half double crochets in them. Alright, so this is again the wrong side, but you see how the right side, how it looks kind of like, it does kind of look like a star, kind of looks like, I don't know, what do you think? I think it kind of looks like a flower. I could see like, maybe it looks like a firework too, I don't know, lots of things it could look like. Alright, so now I'm going to fasten off this color and change to my aqua color again. Let me get rid of that one for a minute, make some room over here. And change to my aqua color again. You're going to really want to work in all these ends. Alright, so I'm going to chain 2. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and work in a few ends here because it's kind of going to get on my nerves if I don't. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Grab my yarn needle. It's like already starting to get on my nerves, so yeah. Just work every which direction just to get it in there. And I'm doing it on the back side. Of course, maybe that's not an of course thing, but I am. And sometimes I do a great job of working stuff in, sometimes I don't. If it's a wearable or something I'm going to sell, I really do a great job. If it's something I'm making just for an example, then I don't do quite as good of a job of working this stuff in. But, you know, because I may take it out later if I'm just doing it as an example of like what to do. So let's go into some of these right here. Through these. And tying it's fine, but tying it can come out. And this is really, really sturdy and won't come out. Now, I've heard some people really get worried about tying them. I have seen, you know, things that get tied, I've seen them come out. But at the same time, I saw a blanket that was, gosh, I'd been washing in the washing machine so many times and had like, it had color changes all over the place and had everything tied in. And this blanket was probably, oh gosh, I don't even know, probably 40 or 50 years old. Again, thrown in the washing machine. It was, I mean, it had been used and it didn't have one single stitch that frayed, and it was all just tied. I was kind of amazed. I'm like, how the crap did they do that? That's pretty impressive, honestly. Alright. So now we're going to chain 2. So we've already chained 1 basically. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to work in this back loop again. So this back loop, so you've got, if you look at the top, you've got, actually I'm going to work in the back bump, not the back loop. So there's your front loop and your back loop and your back bump. So I'm going to work kind of in that back bump there. And I'm just going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way down. So pretty darn simple here. Again, 1 double crochet each stitch all the way down in that back bump pretty much. So what that's doing is that's creating this Now you're just going to do one single crochet in each stitch all the way down. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to need another measurement. So this is like the bottom of your breast area to the top of your hip bone. So that is for me, let's see here. That's about 7 inches or so, maybe 8. So you're going to measure from right here, because this is under your breast right here, this band is. So you've already got 2 inches, so if I need 7 or 8 inches, I've got to do, about 4 more inches there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 9. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I chained 9, and now I'm going to do a triple crochet in the 5th stitch from my marker. So I'm going to skip 4 stitches basically. So there's, and this one counts. This counts as a stitch right here, this chain 9. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do a triple crochet in that next stitch. Again, I skipped 4 stitches. And now I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to skip 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And do a triple crochet in that 5th stitch. And I'm going to repeat this all the way down. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do my triple crochet. I'm just going to skip those, and because I have a couple of extra stitches, that's okay. I'm going to do my triple crochet, and there you have it. So if you have a couple of extra stitches, it's okay. You can fudge it a little bit. It'll be alright. If you end up with like one that has just 4 stitches in between, that's okay too. If you end up with one that has, you know, 5 stitches in between 6, if you end up with one that has 3 stitches in between, again, it's okay. Don't stress out about it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change colors again. Alright, so now we need to fasten off our aqua color here and then reattach our buff color. Gosh, my brain went blank for a minute. And so again, and I'm just going to tie this for now, but I am going to work these ends in also, just by the way. It's just, it bothers me when it's like, comes loose. But I am going to work those ends in. Alright, so I'm going to chain 9 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, this part right here is going to be kind of completely up to you how long you make it. So under the bra to the hip, make it to that measurement. And you're doing triple crochets. So you're going to go back into the triple crochet that you did before. And you're going to chain 5. And just do the same thing all the way down. So for me, this is going to be a total of brown rows. It's going to be a total of 4 brown rows for me. Or I guess technically it's buff colored. Alright, so now we're going to work in the 4th stitch up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, we're going to do our triple crochet in that 4th stitch. And so now we have our first row of tan. Now I'm going to repeat that row. Just repeat this row as many times as you need. Again, it's going to be a total of the 4 of the tan rows for me. So again, you're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to triple crochet and do 5 chains in between. Alright, and again the 4th chain up, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, chain 9. And again, we're going to triple in that 4th chain, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then chain 9 again. Turn, and then repeat that row, and then again, you're just repeating this row as many times as you need for your body, from like whatever the inches that you came up with earlier. Alright, again, the 4th stitch up, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and I'm going to measure this against myself just to make 100% for sure this is as long as I need it to be. I measured it, and that is correct for me, so yay. Alright, so now I'm going to change back to the aqua color again, and I'm going to probably just going to tie this one right now too, but I will be working these ends in. Again, you have to work your ends in on clothes, peoples, because they will come undone. Alright, so now I'm going to turn. I kind of chained one already, so I don't have to chain one. And now I'm going to work just single crochets. So actually I'm going to start with the one that I worked out of. So start in that stitch that you just worked in, the one that you slip stitched in, or triple crocheted in, I want to say. So start in that one, and then each of the 5 chain spaces, or the 5 chains, you're going to do 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the top of your triple, and then you're just going to repeat that all the way down. So 5 single crochets in the 5 chain space, and then 1 single crochet in the top of your triple, and just repeat that all the way down. Alright, so now we're going to count those 4 up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just going to put 1 single crochet in the 4th chain. Then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet in the 1st stitch, and you're going to need 1 more measurement here, just by the way. So after you're done with this part right here, you're going to need another measurement. The measurement you're going to need is you're going to need to know how your hip measurement, so how many inches around your hips it is, because this is going to have to go, this next one is going to have to go all the way around your body. So you have to know how my brain does not work today. You're going to have to know how what your hip measurement is, basically. So around your hip area, you're going to need to know that measurement. So for me, I'm just going to do it real quick. I had it wrote down and I cannot make out my notes. So for me, that is about 35 to 36 inches, I want to say, somewhere around there, maybe closer to 35 inches around my hips, somewhere around there. So for this one, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to skip 1 and then single crochet in the next one. You're going to chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next, and you're going to do this all the way down. Again, I'm just chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch, because I'm going to have a tie for this. It's going to be kind of like a drawstring kind of issue, and so I want to make areas where that will fit through. I'm going to single crochet in that last stitch. But now what I'm going to do, so I know that I have around my hip area, I'm 35 inches thereabouts. So now I'm going to measure this. And this is about 23 inches, which is about right because that's what I said this was going to be. So, all right, that's good. So if I want this to be 35 inches, I've got to add 12 more inches for this to go around my waist. And again, this will stretch some, just by the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my chainless half double crochet again. So I'm going to switch to doing half double crochets now, so it'll kind of lift it up a little bit. But I'm going to work into that post on my single crochet. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook into that post of the single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, then yarn over, pull through all three. Then I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to put my hook into this kind of post right here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through three. And if you wanted to make this a bit bigger, since we're going to kind of have a drawstring kind of thing here, you could make it a bit bigger. It'll just make your skirt more flowy. So I'm going to repeat that until I have the amount of inches that I need. So again, just repeat that till you have the inches that you need. We're going to loop this around, all the way around, and then you're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet you made. Grab the yarn, and you're going to fasten this off. You're going to need to leave this long because you're going to work that top part in. Okay, let me move this to the side. And what I mean by that is, you see how it's kind of wants to twist here? So you want to make sure that you are not twisting it. Basically, let me get this all evened out so you can see it better. Alright, so basically what's happening is you need it to go right like this right here. So this is your working edge down here. So I'm going to attach my yarn needle wherever I put it. Here it is, I found it. Alright, so attach the yarn needle, and it just kind of does this because that's the way it is, I suppose. And you're going to work this in. Just make sure you're working it in really, really well here, because you don't want it to come apart, obviously. Your whole skirt would fall down. That would not be good. That would, in fact, be a bad thing. Well, possibly. So we're just working this one in really, really well. attaching it like it needs to be attached. Okay, back through these loops right here. I don't want to work through the little holes I made earlier though, so that's important. So just remember, don't work through those little holes you made earlier. Let's see here. Did I twist this the wrong way? Maybe I did. See, something like that happens sometimes, and then you have to take it out. And it's not a lot of fun taking stuff like this out. But maybe I didn't. It's kind of hard for me to tell. I think I did do it, twist it the wrong way though, so I'm going to have to take part of this out. Gosh dang it. Alright, so we're done with that. I cut my yarn off, and now what I'm going to do, so it's kind of weird how this turns, as you can see. So you see how that turned like that? So I'm going to slip stitch right here. And I'm going to pull that through. And then you need to make sure that it's turning the correct way, because if you turn it the wrong way, you're going to struggle with getting this sewn together. So just make sure that your working stitch is on the bottom here, and then the kind of that chain that you made, not really, but the other part is on the top. So I'm just going to kind of work this through here now on the bottom part, and you need to leave that long enough to work in, just FYI. And it's okay if it's not exactly perfect. You just want to make sure everything's worked in really, really well, because you don't want this coming out. Let's see here now. Again, just go back and forth to work this in, but make sure you're not working in where you did that that chain stitch there, because you don't want to accidentally cover up your chain stitch. Go back through some of these over here. Hopefully you can see what I am doing. Alright. Okay, then when I'm satisfied, I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to work in my other two ends, and after that we will grab our other yarn. Now it's time to grab your I don't know, what do you even call this yarn? It's like your ribbon yarn, your lacy yarn, whatever you call this yarn. I honestly have no clue what you call it. So I like to start on the side here. You don't have to start there. You could start in the back if you wanted to start in the back, which, I mean, we could start in the back. Let's start in the back. I always start on the side, but you know what? Let's start in the back. So I'm going to start in the back loop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the top and bottom. So the bottom part of this yarn kind of has like a little edge, as you can see right here. And then the top part is kind of just a straight, I don't know, kind of loops, right? So I'm going to kind of separate it here. And see this edge right here? I don't want that showing, so I'm going to loop it over a couple of times. So I'm going to like kind of roll it like that. And that's the way I do it. I don't know, some other people may do it different ways, but that's just the way I do it. So then I'm going to insert my hook into these loops. And I'm just going to pull up a loop when I do that. And then I'm just kind of slip stitching here. So, but I'm inserting my hook into both loops when I'm doing this. And it's going to look kind of like it's behind, which is fine. You see how I'm pulling up 2 loops there because I had kind of 2 rounds that I rolled up. And I'm probably at the end of this, it may be a good idea if you have fabric glue just to kind of glue these ends, or even if you have a kind of a glue gun to glue these ends together. That's normally what I do, is I use my hot glue gun to glue these ends together. So I'm slip stitching, and what I'm doing here is, you see, like I'm doing the next one here. This is a regular, just a regular slip stitch. So I'm taking this kind of top loop right here. You can see that top loop, and I'm inserting my hook into that top loop, and I'm just pulling up a loop. And what I'm doing with this first one is, so I did this one right here, so I'm going to skip this loop right here, and I'm going into that next loop. So I'm going to go into that next loop. I'm just going to pull up the stitch, and then I'm going to go into my next back bump or back loop of the next stitch, and then I'm going to go into this next stitch. So I'm skipping a stitch, and then I'm going into the next stitch. So I'm going to that next stitch, and then I'm going to go into back loop of my half double crochet. I hope I'm explaining this okay. This kind of makes it roughly. So I'm not going into this stitch now, I'm skipping one stitch. So I'm skipping a stitch, and then the next stitch will be, I won't skip a stitch. So again, I'm going into my next half double crochet here, and then on this ribbon yarn, I'm going into the next stitch. So I'm not skipping a stitch this time because I skipped a stitch last time. So now I'm going to the next half double crochet, and this time I'm going to skip a stitch. So here would be my next stitch, but I'm going to skip that stitch. I'm going to go into the next one, and I'm kind of just pulling up a loop there. So this is pretty much how I'm going to do it for this complete round. So I'm going to go into my very next stitch, not skipping one on this one because I did it on the last one, and I am just slip stitching. And sometimes it's hard with this yarn to, and if you lose a loop, it's okay. Just make sure you can see what you're doing. I have lots of bright lights in this room so I can see what I'm doing. So again, just that next one, and I'm pulling through, and then I'm inserting my hook in the next half double crochet, but this time I am skipping a stitch, which is this one right here, and I'm going into this next stitch right here. This will make it nice and ruffly. So next half double crochet, this time I'm not skipping a stitch, I'm going into this next one, and I'm slip stitching. And then the next half double crochet, and this time I'm going to skip a stitch. And so this is the pattern that I'm going to continue all the way around. So just continue this pattern all the way around. And you know, you don't have to do it exactly like this. This makes it the amount of ruffly that I want it to be. But if you want it to be more ruffly, then skip a stitch every single time. And this pattern here really benefits, or at least the skirt part really benefits from seam blocking. So seam blocking will release some of these stitches and make them longer, which is really what you want. And this yarn in particular, I believe, and of course it's closed by now, but I believe this yarn in particular was from Big Lots. Sometimes you can still find it at a Hobby Lobby. You're not going to find this yarn at Michael's anymore because they They really don't make it as much anymore. But one place you can really find this type of yarn is if you go to estate sales, or if you go to like a Goodwill or anything like that. You can really find this yarn at those kinds of places. I'm trying to think where else that you might. Of course, online. You can find this yarn online for sure. And I'll look it up and try to leave a link in my description, so you actually, like, for real can find this yarn and you don't have to look for it like I've had to look for it. What I do is, since I do a lot of shows and everybody knows that I'm really big into crocheting, so people just give me yarn that they don't like or find it hard to work with. So I've gotten a lot of this type of yarn that people have just given me because they don't like working with it, which, I mean, that's fair. Especially if you have, you know, especially if you're not crocheted for very long. This type of yarn can be very hard. Like just now I dropped the stitch. So it's very easy to drop a stitch. It's very easy to get confused from where you're at. So if you're starting with a yarn like this, good luck. No, I would not start with a yarn like this if you're brand new crocheting. I would start with the Keratin 1 pound or the Red Heart Super Saver, something like that, because that yarn is very, very forgiving. Something like this you're going to get frustrated really quickly with. At least that's what I think. So I think, like, I get lots of people give me yarn like this because they do get frustrated with it very, very quickly. But I do love it because I can make fun things like this. So again, you're just going to go in this pattern and you're going to go all the way around. So guys, when you get all the way back around, I am going to meet you back here and I will show you what the next round looks like. So pause the video right here until you get completely all the way back around. I have now made it all the way back around, and I'm going to just chain some until I get down to this ruffle right here, the bottom of this ruffle. So you just take up your next little blank area here and just chain. Let's see here, that was 5. I'm going to need to chain a few more. This is 9. Let's see how 9 looks. We'll just do like one more. 10. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, there's a couple of different ways you could do this. So I'm going to find this other side here, definitely. Make sure it's kind of rounded back again. And then I'm going to work through all of these little, in this one, kind of areas right here. But here's the thing. If you work through the front, so if you put your hook in through the front, it's going to make like a little kind of bumpy ribbon on the front, and for mine I really don't want that, so I'm going to work around the back. So I'm going to put my hook in the back here, and again I'm just working through these to make them stay the way I want to. And then I'm going to, this time I'm not going to skip any stitches. This time I'm just going to pull up my loop there. And then I'm going to go on to the next one. Again, I am working around the back. So I'm putting this in front when I work. And I'm not skipping any stitches. And it could take, this takes a while for me. So I don't know about you guys, but it takes a little bit for me. And then when you get to this other area here, so now you're going to have to make a decision. So I like doing it in this kind of little middle area here. So when I find like that middle area, but down here on the ribbon part, and you could do it in that area if you wanted to. I just like using the ribbon part because it's a little bit thicker. So then I'm looking at it, and you see like this next part right here where it has like the two that attach. I'm going to go into the stitch above that and work in that stitch. It keeps it even for me. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, again, I'm working on that back side of this. So then I go into the next one, right above that ribbon area. I'm going into the next stitch there, and I'm just slip stitching around, basically. Again, going above that little ribbon area there. And then you're going to continue that all the way around until you get to sorry, my voice is kind of hoarse today. So you're going to continue doing that all the way around. So again, you're working in that little kind of space there, and you're going to do this all the way around. And I've already worked in this one, so I'm going to skip to that next space. And you can see I'm working behind. And here in a minute I'll show you what that looks like. And you see how when you're working behind, it just, you have just like this little area here, but you don't see like a bump or a ribbon. But if I turn it over, you'll see this ribbon. So you see what I'm talking about, how it has like this bumpy area and it doesn't look really great on this other side. So that is what I'm talking about right there. That's why I like to work behind. So again, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's very forgiving, just by the way. And guys, I'm going to complete this round, and I will meet you back here when I am done. I am all the way back around, and here you can see, well, almost all the way back around. So really from here, what I'm going to keep doing is I'm just going to keep going in a circle until I have enough layers for me, or until the skirt is long enough for me. So that for me is probably going to be 4 rows. So here you can see we have 2 rows right here. So that for me is probably going to be about 4 rows. So again, just keep going around, and if you need to mark where your stitches are, you can mark where your first stitch is. That way you know when you're done with a round. That might make sense and be a good thing. So guys, pause the video here, and when you are done with this section, I will show you what to do next, how to tie it off, and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, this section is going to be just, you know, hold it up to yourself. If you want it long, make it longer than mine. If you want it shorter than mine, make it shorter than mine. So it'd be, again, fun for rave wear or beach wear, or even like, really, like you could wear it like all over the place. So anyway, yeah, I will meet you back here in just a few, guys. Okay, so I'm all the way back around 2 times, and kind of crazy, guys, I ran out at like literally almost the exact spot that I needed to. So yay me, right? And now I'm just going to do this one last stitch here. And here's the thing, is I'm going to have to take a piece of yarn to tie this off with, just because I don't want it coming undone, that very last stitch. And I'm taking the yarn that's the same color, and I'm going to put it through here so this doesn't come undone. There we go. I mean, you could take some glue and glue this if you wanted to. There's lots of ways you could kind of tie this off, but it's really hard tying it off with this ribbon yarn. So that's just something I'm going to throw out there for you. That the ribbon yarn is a little bit hard to tie off properly. So I'm just going to push this through to the back for now. Come on, dude. And I'm going to just kind of work this kind of end, like up and in some. Just kind of like this. And the reason I'm doing that is, one, so it doesn't like drag any, but it kind of has that bump here, so I'm going to work it in a little bit over here too, because I don't want it to look like funny. Which it will if I don't work it in over here some. So here I'm just going to take it kind of up like this and just kind of work that in there so it doesn't look funky on the bottom. Oopsie. Oh, that's kind of hard to work through. Again, I just don't want it to look like funky on the bottom. That's really the whole point of it. And I'm going to take this and just kind of work through some of these back loops here. Again, just so it doesn't look like funky on the bottom part there is what I'm going for. See? And so when it lays out, it'll lay a little flatter like that. See what I'm talking about there? I may need to like work in a little tiny bit more. I don't know. We're going to see how it looks after. I'm going to steam block this, of course. But I do think I need to work just a little bit more in, like kind of that way, because it looks kind of funky like that, doesn't it? So let's work in just a little, sew up a little bit more on this back side here so it doesn't look so funny. Oopsie. One of the nice things about this ribbon yarn, one, I will say it does seem like it takes forever to do all of this with the ribbon yarn, just because it can be a little bit hard to work with, but it wouldn't take as long as it does, let's say, if you were like literally crocheting all of this. So that's a thing. Alright, let's do this right here. I'm going to tie it into. Let's see how this lays now. Okay, that's laying much, much better. So we're going to leave it like that. And we're going to tie this up, work in this. So I just like to make sure it's laying straight, pretty much is what I'm trying to do. And it helps hiding it using the same color. Alright, and I'll probably end up putting a little hot glue on that later too, just so I know that it won't come undone. Alright, so now we're going to go back up to the top. So you want your right side facing out. And what we're going to do now, let me cut this because I already worked it in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab our buff colored yarn and we're going to start right here. So let me actually turn it over this way. And I'm going to do a total of 9 single crochets from here to here. So I'm going to start in like this corner here. Oops. Pull the yarn through. And you're going to single crochet in that first one. And again, you're just going to single crochet, 1 single crochet all the way down in that kind of edge spot there. A total of 9. So just do it kind of evenly as you can. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to try to not go, yeah, there you go, 8, and one more is 9. Alright, now you're going to chain 1 and turn, And now what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet in this first stitch, then you're going to chain one and you're going to skip a stitch, single crochet in that next stitch, chain one, skip a stitch, repeat that, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet in that final stitch. And now in that final stitch you're actually going to do 2 more single crochets, so you're going to turn it and go around, and right here where you skip those stitches, that's where you're going to that's where we're going to have our ties in the back. Alright, so now you're just going to work here and do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way down till you get to where your bra and your side panel meet here. And you could do this in your like main color, your aqua color, or whatever, if you wanted to, but I think it kind of makes it stand out more to do it with the buff color, so that is what I'm doing. Alright, let me turn this a little bit. Oof, the skirt part, I got to keep it from getting caught on stuff. So we're going to do 1 more, and then we're going to do a single crochet tog. So we're going to go into that next stitch, and then we're going to go into that first kind of stitch area on our bralette. And then again you're going to repeat, just do single crochets all the way up your bralette till you get to your stitch marker. Alright, so when you get to your stitch marker, you're going to do 1 single crochet in that stitch, and now you're going to chain. And this is going to tie around your neck, so it's kind of going to be personal to you of how many that you chain, but I'm going to chain, I think, 75. So alright, let's see if this is long enough. Yeah, I definitely think that's long enough. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slip stitch, starting the second chain from hook, all the way back down that chain. Alright, so where your stitch marker is, you're going to do one more single crochet in that stitch. And now you can take your stitch marker out and you can continue to single crochet back down the other side of your bralette. To the very bottom, you're going to do a single crochet decrease in the first, and then you're going to go over to the second one, do the same thing, single crochet decrease. Then we're going to turn it, we're going to work down this other side. Again, one single crochet in each stitch down the other side. I think I said before, but I'm not really 100% for sure. But the nice thing about a skirt like this is, like, I live in Texas and it gets super hot in the summertime, so it's really nice to have something that's this lightweight and it won't make you like burn up while you're wearing it. Alright, I went ahead and took my stitch marker out. You don't have to do it right when I do it though. Oops, let me get that out of the way. Alright, so again, I'm going to chain 75 and do the same thing I did on the other side. Okay, now again I'm going to just slip stitch right down this chain. Alright, now we're going to do one more single crochet in the same stitch on the bralette, the top of the bralette. Now we're going to work down the other side. One single crochet in each stitch until the bralette meets your under the bust section. Alright, so now we're going to go through our bralette and then the first stitch in our in the strap section, or the section that goes around the bottom there. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. Alright, now the corner we're going to do 3 single crochets. Okay, one of those counts as that first stitch on the 9 we're going to do on this side. So we're going to go do a total of 9 single crochets from here to here. One of them already counts. So that was 1, 2, wherever you can work it in at, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, one more, 9. Alright, we're going to chain 1, turn. Now the first stitch you're going to do 1 single crochet. You're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, do 1 single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, 1 single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, 1 single crochet. And that's it for that. You should have 4 chain space openings. And now you're just going to fasten off your yarn. Oops. And we're going to work any of the ends we have not worked in. We're going to work them in right now. Let me see, this is the wrong side. I had to figure out which was the right. Now you're going to have to make the band that connects these two. So I like to make mine pretty long because I like to tie it in the back. So, and I'm going to do it with my buff color, this band. You can use, you know, your other contrasting color, whatever color you want. So I'm just going to chain, and I'm going to chain it, like I said, really long. So I'm going to do like 200. Alright, so I've got mine to 200 stitches now. So you can decide, you don't have to work these in if you don't want to, or you can if you want to. Either way, it's totally up to you. They won't come out if you don't work them in, but if you don't like it looking with them sticking out, then work them in. Or if you think it gives it some more character, then don't work it in. It's as simple as that. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It just depends on what the piece is that I'm making, because sometimes I do think it gives it a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to just work this in here. Oops. Remember, you have 4 kind of little holes to work it through there. And of course you can use your crochet hook if you want to help work it in these holes here. Now all I'm going to do is try to get this even. So this side needs to come in some. Let's see how it looks now. Is that better? That's better. Okay. So I'm just trying to get the 2 sides even there. I don't know if it's harder or easier with the crochet hook. I think it's easier though. So I'm going underneath. Yeah, I'm like, which way did I go just now? Alright, and you kind of just even that out however you see fit. Of course, once you put it on, you're going to tie it and everything appropriately for you. And if you want your ties longer, make your ties longer. Alright, so now I've got to make something to go around here. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this. We could chain to whatever we think our length is here. So you could just take your yarn and not chain at all. So, I mean, I would probably end up wanting to make this at least 40 inches. So you could take your yarn, not chain at all, especially with something as thick as this is, because this is super thick. So you could do that, or you could chain and work. You've got areas to work through here that we made on the front, but there's really no areas on this back side to do that with. So either way you want to do it, obviously, is fine with me. I think for this particular one, I'm just going to make my yarn really long and work it in like this instead of chaining and making a chain, because the chain's going to be very thick and I'm just afraid that it won't work in nicely. And so now I'm going to find kind of the middle here, which is about here-ish. Go a couple of stitches away from the middle. I'm just going to kind of work this in now. So kind of in and out of this back part here. Leave it quite a bit longer than that. And then you're going to want to just do that all the way around. You could also probably add elastic to this, but elastic's really hard to add to crochet stuff in my opinion. Maybe it's because I don't really like sew on a sewing machine that well. My daughter does. She's really great at sewing, but me on the other hand, not so much. Oops. Come back to my light. Alright, so now that we're getting around to this front end, you can kind of work into these stitches that we made earlier. So go in and out of these chain spaces that we made earlier. That's going to make the front side a whole lot easier. Alright, so now we're getting into the area where we've made our little holes for our ties at here, unfortunately. Oops. So we're just going to work in to some of these areas in and out right here. Do a little bit more there. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take this off. We're going to try to even this out some, so obviously you should be able to just pull this. And it'll pull from that side. Oops, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. You know, it can be hard to do this though. There we go. Alright, let's see how much do we have on both sides. So we've got quite a bit. That's good. That's what we want. So let's stretch it as far as we can stretch it then. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to cut this off even, and then you're ready to put it on and tie it up. So guys, that's literally it. So again, you can do this and you just tie it, let it hang back like that. I will probably steam block this, just FYI. If you want to see a video on me steam blocking it, then I can make a video about that too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed making this with me. If you did, guys, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and happy hooking, everybody.